From the Heart of the Sun, or The Adventures of Johnny Chance Part 2 by Daryl Friesen. My name is Dakota Jansen. Johnny ran out of the bank as fast as his legs would carry him. He looked around for some way to escape the main street fast. Spotting a majestic black stallion tied up in front of the bank, he untied the horse and jumped on it. He quickly kicked it in the ribs with the ankles of his boots to get it running down the street. The bank teller emerged from the bank, waving his gun. "Stop that man!" the teller yelled into the street as Johnny disappeared over the horizon, leaving behind a cloud of dust. The yells of the teller attracted the attention of the police. RCMP officer Fred Foreman walked up to the distraught and angry bank teller. "Tell me what happened," Fred asked the frantic teller. "That man robbed the bank. You must stop him," the teller yelled. Constable Foreman signaled 2 of the officers with him to give pursuit. "He has not had that big of a head start. We'll catch him," Fred said. The officer got on his horse and followed his 2 men into the cloud of dust left by the outlaw Johnny Chance. Johnny galloped down the main street of Lillooet. Pedestrians and members of polite society saw Johnny and quickly jumped out of the way. He looked over his shoulder and saw the Mounties on his tail, so he took a small handful of cash and threw it behind him. The money flew through the air. Seeing their chance at free money, the pedestrians started a mad herd scrambling for the cash. The crowds filled the street and blocked the progress of the approaching Mounties. Johnny rode his horse up the crest of a dusty hill and looked around. He noticed a train just starting to rumble down the tracks, heading toward Seton Lake and Cayush Creek on its way back toward Vancouver. He steered his horse down the hill, easing up the reins as he reached flat ground. Then he kicked it to make the horse run in a fast gallop towards the slowly speeding up train. Meanwhile, the Mounties, now clear of the greedy pedestrians, had come up on the hill crest to see Johnny Chance riding like lightning towards the moving train, just down on the other side. "I can get a shot at him," one of the Mounties suggested, pulling his Winchester from his side saddle and aiming at Johnny Chance. He fired off 2 rounds. One of his shots hit the side of the moving train, and the other flew over Johnny's head as he galloped beside the train, pushing his now spent horse to its sheer limit. He spotted an empty boxcar up ahead. The train was starting to pick up speed. Johnny got close to the open boxcar. He leaped from his horse into the back of the empty boxcar, where he rolled across the floor of the dusty boxcar and crashed into the metal wall, where he didn't move for several moments as pain shot through his tired body. Johnny stood, crawled over to the boxcar's open door, and looked off towards Lillooet. The Mounties galloped down the hill towards the boxcar as the train whistled down the tracks, leaving the town of Lillooet behind. The Mounties rode across the train yard in frustration, recovering the black stallion that had run through the rail yards, frantic after losing its owner. "Contact the train yards. We have to have that train stopped," Fred yelled, watching the train speed around the side of the mountain towards Seton Lake and disappear from sight. Johnny sat in the darkness in the back of the train car, confident that he had escaped. He began to count the stolen money, and a smile radiated across his face. "This is more money than I made all of last year," he thought. "Perhaps the answer to my problem is a bank robbery. Pays more than panning for gold any day. That is all. If you want more, like or comment."